What is going on, guys? It's Dealer here, back again with yet another RDX podcast. Thank you so much for joining us live. We do appreciate it. We got a phenomenal panel and a lot of really good discussion. Some crazy things have happened over the past week, and we got the latest in gaming as always. Again, thank you guys. If you're here early, you are the best supporters of the show. And of course, if you can't make it early, we still appreciate you. You're still awesome. Don't take me the wrong way. Hey, Colt Eastwood, man, thanks for joining us. Let's get into some intros, some shout outs, and then we'll get into some topics that some people file in. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Hi, I'm Colt Eastwood. Yeah, it's good to be back. A lot of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah. D Batch, by the way, he is not going to be here today. I think he's having some technical issues, but you know, give him he's been here every single week for like forever. So
no, actually, Dealer, one of his goats is giving birth today.
So he's delivering more goats.
That's so precious,
right? And he's trying to show him his new computer. Hey, Fonz, how have you been?
Oh, I've been good. I'm just sitting here not smoking a cigarette because I'm just not into cigarettes and smoking. So so I'm doing good, man.
Hey, the FedEx gamer wants a shout out. How you been, bud? Once again, great topics today. Ashtray, Super Mario, Shinsaya, Salty in the chat, who is also on the panel. Easy Money. We got KS. We got Wilmy Hood, Lethal, Matt Burns, Ron Hale. All you guys, you're absolutely phenomenal. Zalker87, how have you been, sir?
Doing really good, man. Doing really good. All the news dropped about Gears, and I was having fun making that video I made today, man. That was a lot of fun, seeing a lot of positivity and some freaking awesome gameplay of that game. I don't even understand all the hate. I don't know, man. Fear mongering is kind of stupid. So let's enjoy today.
Yeah, especially after they drop some fire ass gameplay, man. Hey, Tim Doug, how have you been, man? Welcome back. You were here last week. You're smuggling blood diamonds in to the States. Good to have you back, man.
Yes, was on vacation in Aruba. Happy to be here, though. Refreshed, batteries recharged, ready to go. Happy to be back in the RDX go of things and ready to chat it up here.
Hell yeah. We've also got Sir Saltiest Gaming. Thanks for coming through, brother.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the guy that bought the PlayStation 4 6 years after it launched. How could he? I'm happy, man. Amazon Prime Day, man. I saw the deals. I got the one with Horizon Zero Dawn and Spider-Man, the Slim. See, I'm getting lots of hate because I didn't get the Pro, but I've done my research, and I
recommend the Pro. Over the Slim.
You actually fucked up. You fucked up, man. Didn't you see that great deal? You should have Barry Bonds your Xbox and asked that guy for a free PlayStation. Beat that shit up on video. Come on.
Yeah, I was seeing that too, right? I should have done that. Yeah.
Well, I've always said that the base Xbox was definitely in more of a need of an upgrade than the base PlayStation. So if you're not worried about, mostly what is usually just resolution, then you get the Slim. So
it's so compact. I can slide it under my 4K television, like on the stands. It's crazy. So it's good stuff.
Well, again, man, thanks for coming through. And shout out to well over 200 people already joining us. We ain't even through the intros yet. I do gotta get into some Patreon shout outs. There's a tier, every month, people that want to go that extra mile. The least I can do is shout you guys out. So I want to get through that real quick while we let some people file in. So we got Beck Bose, we got Daniel Velasquez. I want to make sure I got that right. Daniel Vasquez. We've got Jed Myers. We've got Scout Trooper 74, Patman, Centurion at legionofgamer.com, Obi-Wan, Black, Real Deal Neil. We got Suicide King. We got Darge Knight, Prime Suspect, Michael Bowen, Shane Pennington, Guillermo Cabillo. And, we got another little list of people as well. I want to give a shout out to Wilmy Hood, Biggie 2316, Alfonso Hogan, Darge Knight. I might have already said his name. A Squad Gaming, Slim Killer 73. Thank all of you for doing what you do. You power this channel and the content on it. Also, a big shout out to the members of the channel. We got several members in the chat already who have those special emojis and icons next to their name. It's kind of a thing that I'm going to be pushing for a couple weeks here. But if you want to help support the channel, you can hit that little join button and kind of have access to some of that stuff. It's pretty cool. I don't choose how much it costs. Not that I'm aware of. I just clicked it and it said, this is what it costs. Colt's got one too. He'll tell you. And you know, I don't choose how many loyalty badges there are. YouTube kind of sets that up, and you fill in the blanks basically. So just so you guys know, no confusion. But hey, we do got to get moving along. Final Fantasy, real quick, for those that are interested in this. I know Fonz, you are a big fan of a warm hot tub. What's going on with this going to PlayStation? For context and clarification, they were talking about an Xbox version and a PC version, but now they're not really talking about either of those. They're focusing on just the PlayStation. For those fans out there, what do you think is going on here? Because now they're basically saying that it's not really coming to anything else as of right now.
Yeah, originally they did put out a statement saying that, you know, that it was coming to Xbox. It was even on their website. I believe it had an Xbox logo and stuff. And then all of a sudden that just disappeared. And what I gather is that possibly Sony went in there and said, just scooped it up as an exclusive for a while. Maybe it's timed. Nothing's really being said about that, whether it's timed or if it's permanent. But as of now, there is no Xbox version. So unfortunately, I was going to get it on the Xbox, but now I'm going to have to get it on the PlayStation. So there's that.
King Long, he says, was the Fable 4 leak real? I'm actually not. Which Fable 4 leak? There's been so many. Anybody on the panel? Tim, you're kind of up to date on this. Do you know what he's talking about? Something happened today?
I haven't seen anything Fable 4 at all, you know, so I would say it's fake.
Tim hasn't seen it. He's it's fake.
Well, usually somebody would, if there was something of note, they would, not even me seeing it, somebody would DM me or hit me up. That's a lot of times I get a lot of info. It's just from people in the community saying, hey, look at this.
Yeah. New member as well. Tasteless Genie, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, the Final Fantasy thing, a lot of people are really upset with this, and I'm asking myself, when do these games usually come to the Xbox? Nothing different here, though we do want more options. I'm in the camp that thinks that they're not going to talk about the PC version really, or the Xbox version, if they are releasing it on PlayStation first, because they don't want to cannibalize their own sales. They don't want people to wait and get on a different version. They may even want you to double dip, Fonz. Do you think it's a possibility?
I doubt people are going to double dip on both consoles.
For Final Fantasy?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just think it's weird. I think it's really weird what they're doing with this situation. You know, they must be getting paid by Sony though, handsomely. I would believe. So I don't know. Like not much is known about this. Like we don't know what's going on.
Which Final Fantasy is it again? Because they showed like 85 of them at E3. So I just want to
Final Fantasy, the remake 7.
It's the one with the guy with the big girl hair, and then he's got like the really big sword.
Okay, that narrows it down.
That helps me a lot. Final Fantasy 86. Got it.
Now, remember that this is the same way that they treated Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, No Man's Sky, and stuff like that. Like they just didn't say anything about other platforms.
Kind of like it wasn't coming to other platforms, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was all those different leaks from different retailers and different insiders that said that these certain games were coming to Xbox, like Insane Trilogy, and then exactly a year later, it's like, oh, here it comes. But I don't know if this is going to happen on Final Fantasy, but the game's also episodic. Like, Fonz, what can you tell us about like this episodic release?
Well, in this episode, it's mainly going to center around Midgard. A lot of people don't. Probably a lot of Xbox gamers don't even really know about Final Fantasy 7 or was ever into that game.
I've heard of Midgard before.
I've heard of Midgard, yeah.
City.
That sounds familiar.
I believe.
Isn't that Earth?
Well, originally wasn't it in 2015 said it was going to be PlayStation first, and they had it on the stage and everything. That was the original go, right?
That's the speculation, right? That's what they're saying. But you know, Square Enix themselves aren't coming out and saying, hey, this is what's happening. There will be an Xbox version or there won't be. They're not really saying there won't be. So we don't know.
Well, Square came out and said that they're not planning on working on another version at this time. But the thing is, I'm not a big fan of Final Fantasy, but it's interesting how PlayStation goes about like the way they market things and their exclusivity and stuff. Because if you look at the way the first Tomb Raider came out on Xbox, right? People knew it was going to be a year, so they're like, I'll just wait around. But like with PlayStation, you never know. It's like, oh, it might come or it might not. you gotta, and then all these people that are excited, it's like if they are really big fans of Final Fantasy, the only way you can play this right now, the definitive way to know that you'll be able to play it first is to buy a PlayStation. I just think that that's smart business. You know, it's kind of shady, but at the same time, business is kind of cutthroat and shady. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent. So.
Now those in the chat, I'm bearing with you guys, bearing with us, because I don't give two backflipping or a piss about Final Fantasy. But what I will have to say is that look at the history of how Sony do these things. It is smart. They do like to grab these games, or third parties will come to them, and they won't really be allowed to talk. Remember when No Man's Sky came out, he said, I'm not really allowed to talk about another version. Like, there were rules at play. Hellblade, kind of the same thing. They've done this over and over. So I think, especially with Final Fantasy being ported to more and more things, they just brought all these other ones back and pat, and they put Final Fantasy 7 on the Xbox One. Like, what are the odds that they're just like, nope, we're not bringing this new one there.
You know what, though? Here's the thing, though. Let's be real, though. There's a lot of Xbox gamers who would like to play this game. And I've heard from them. They're disappointed by this. I'm disappointed.
You're one of them, yeah.
We talked about Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, Microsoft did the same thing. They framed it just right. So if you're a PlayStation fan, you had no idea if that game was coming to your favorite platform. And so Sony's done a really good job. Somebody said in the chat that Sony's definitely better at marketing than Microsoft, and that's for sure. Another thing that they do, even though they have market share, is they make these third-party timed exclusives look totally exclusive. And I mean, it's a really good strategy.
Well, I mean, I can also remember when Rise of the Tomb Raider came out, everyone absolutely went ballistic that Xbox had an exclusive, and it was pushed upon, and there was like never a dying moment of this game being an Xbox exclusive, and or try to do what they're doing with this, if they're doing the same thing, a year exclusive or timed. But there was never a chance. And then out of nowhere, Microsoft in the middle of August says, oh yeah, it's Windows, it's going to come to Windows, and it's multiplat. And that was the type of thing, the type of stuff that Microsoft does. They just don't hold their They just, I guess, they don't hold this.
Well, have people been asking the developers of Final Fantasy, when's it coming to Xbox? When is it coming to Xbox? Because that's what I remember what happened with Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's all the interviews were. They didn't even ask about the fucking game.
Were too. That's what NeoGAF was pushing. But no, it's when it happens to Xbox, it's always like, oh, what happened with Xbox? What did Bill do?
Hey, what? I say it comes to Xbox just like it was originally slated to, just like it had the Xbox logo or whatever on it, right? I'm not really worried about it. And, there are some that will be worried about it. I would be very confident that it will come to Xbox. Cold Eastwood, speaking of coming to other platforms, Sunset Overdrive was coming to PS4 and Switch next year, according to one guy on Twitter who then deleted his tweet. He then deleted his tweet. And Segment Next picked it up and ran with it with an article. Anybody can write an article. Remember that, guys.
Basically, even you can write an article.
Exactly. We got some other people that have some of their own websites kind of chime in behind the scenes saying, no, there's no real source here. They literally just ran with this for clicks. So Sunset Overdrive coming to PS4 Switch next year. How much faith you got in that, bud? And does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. It's weird because there's only like a handful of real Xbox exclusives left over. Sunset Overdrive's one of them, but then it just went to Steam like 6 months ago. So I people get mad, but I'm in the camp like on the Switch. Sure, go ahead. I mean, people need to play this game. You're just now discovering it for real right now. Like you're finally sitting down and giving it like the full try, right?
Shinzai says that crap was the source. No, crap wasn't the source. It came from I think he did a video on it. And me and him, all of us crushed the drama. We're done with the fucking bullshit drama. We don't want to deal with the drama. It gets old. I think
who was the source? Can you tell me
on it? But it was a different guy that tweeted it out, and then Segment Next picked it up and ran, and they make an article on it. Kind of people believe any article they read these days. So yeah. I don't know. It's kind of odd. I didn't believe it, but I don't really care. I just don't care either way. Tim, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's probably made up. I don't think Sunset Overdrive is coming to the Switch because who's going to make it? I think they're knee deep in Spider-Man 2 probably. So I don't believe it. I think it's just a fan that probably wanted it on those platforms. And like you said, it's not really a big deal. This game, unfortunately, was a good game, but at the time, what we were talking about, believe it or not, was the resolution. It wasn't about the game. It wasn't about how cool it looked. It wasn't about anything. It was just like the things that we seem to keep doing, and it was bashing the resolution. Like every article was about that. But and unfortunately, the game with other, some people might not have liked it, but it just never sold. I mean, I knew that game was not going to get a sequel 2 weeks after it released because somebody said something to me that I just knew, and I knew that person knew the sales numbers, and that's how bad it was.
Well, Tim, did you know that hell just froze over? Others Inc. actually said something bad about an Xbox product. Holy fuck! He said, shout out to Others Inc. Right? He rocks out with us every week.
Yeah.
We all have fun with each other. But Sunset Overdrive is overrated. Next topic. Interesting.
I would say
that. I've ever seen Others Inc. say negatively about an Xbox thing.
Is it just because it's coming to another platform now?
I don't know. Let us know.
It's like an 8 out of 10 across the board, isn't it?
An 8. Like if it's PS4, you guys should definitely play it.
I just think it's a 4-year-old game. Like, who gives a fuck where it is? Exactly. Like, it's an older game. Like PS Now has some PlayStation exclusives on there that are older. It's like, who cares? Like, if you can play your game anywhere.
Even if it was a brand new game, who cares where it is?
Who gives a shit? More people get to play it. That's the whole point. Play your damn games. Who cares what platform it's on? It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta give a shout out, and we did start about 10 minutes late, and we do apologize. I gotta give a shout out to over 400 people watch this live, guys. Hit that like button if you're checking us out. Maybe share this where you share things. 300 likes before the end of the show, maybe 1,000 after the fact. You're checking us out after the fact, and honestly, we've been pretty critical of Xbox's E3. Of the way that they didn't debut Gears gameplay properly and stuff like that. A lot of people agree, some people don't, but really that shit happened a month ago. We've been talking about it every week for about a month, and I'm done with all the negativity, man. Like, we were critical as we've always been for Gears on this podcast, and we just want to kind of move on and talk about a lot of the positivity of gaming, because that's why it's the best hobby in the world.
There's a ton.
Fun time, man.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff to be excited about. Like, I like how you approach it, because, like, you give your criticism. You say, hey, I don't like what they didn't show this, they didn't show that, they should have done this better. And then you don't harp on it for 17 months. I think that's one of the problems with the gaming community that drives me a little crazy. It drives me a little batty is that, like, they've been banging the drum about the first party problem, and we bring it up quite often, but, like, you can't run on and on ad nauseum forever. It just gets old, and people get sick of hearing it.
Well, they'll just find new things to hate. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, Gears of War looks like a giant fucking game, like the biggest Gears we've ever had.
Yeah.
And people now are concentrating on fucking smoking. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, but I look at this chat. I look at this live chat, and, like, everyone is so excited for. There's so many things to get laser focused about that is like something that we all are super excited about playing, or something that's coming up over the next year or next 15 months. Like, the dealer's right. Like, let's move it forward. Like, it's fun.
I mean, we started the first party criticism a couple years ago. Every time it comes up, we mention it, bring it up. But for me, I get bored doing that shit over and over, right? So it's like the same topic every week. Whatever, to people that do it, it's fine. It's not a personal attack or a shot at anybody. It's just saying that here, personally, we do want to kind of try to keep things positive. I don't want to sit there and get myself depressed about what the fuck that
I mean, at the end of the day, it's about fun with gaming, or it should be. And people who constantly just wallow in that depression of that bad side of gaming is it's ridiculous to me.
Well, we do have to kind of wrap up the wallowing.
Yeah. But here's the thing: we need to talk about the real problem about Gears 5, and that is the lack of violence. Man, there's just not enough. I mean, the gore is gone. What happened to the gore?
I know, right? And I don't know if Fonz is being serious. I don't know if
No, I'm not.
Of course not. Hey, Fonz, what color?
I asked him if you watched the new trailers today. And I don't think you got a chance to.
Actually, I did. I watched it a little while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And what I got to say about it is, everybody who's saying the gore is gone, there's literally exploding heads everywhere.
There's literally somebody covered in guts.
Yeah, like 2 colors the whole trailer. Most of that was just shiny red.
I mean, it's just as gory as ever. I mean, it looks like a Gears game. I mean, it looks like
more gory than ever. I watched a locust shove a shotgun up Dell's ass and fucking. And Dell was one of my favorite characters from the new Gears. And watching him die like that,
was that a spoiler dealer? Is he not even going to make it to 5? Like after seeing that trailer,
there's little mechanics.
You ruined it.
They should replace Dell in that scene with Locke, and we're all good.
Well, there's little mechanics that they brought up in that trailer. Like, I don't know if you saw Marcus Phoenix like hit the ice water and then freeze and then break like Terminator 2. Like, there's little things that I think are going to be put into the campaign that they're kind of hinting at.
Well, let me kind of jump back to the topics list here, and we'll come back to the smoking thing at the end, which is mind blowing in itself. But the Gears versus / boot camp trailers. Boot camp trailer debuted a lot of new mechanics for Gears of War, including new melee, new cover, new counter cover, all kinds of different stuff. In the versus trailer, I literally wrote in the topics, "Holy shit, the violence! So much gore." And it, every Gears has had it. Like when it comes to the boot camp stuff, Colt, you explained it pretty well earlier. This is, you can kind of get cues what's going to happen in the Gears story a little bit through this. Damon's there. He's working. They got the DBs. They're training. They show off some of the new stuff. What did you guys in the chat and what did you think, Colt, about this new boot camp trailer?
The opening of that boot camp trailer shows you like what the visuals of 5 are going to look like. Like Dell's kind of coming down. He's kind of like, oh yeah,
kind of, but it's not rendered at full fidelity like the.
Yeah, that's a 1080p 30 resolution trailer. I don't know why they did that, but they've got this huge like cinematic like view, like kind of gives you an idea what the visuals are going to look like on 5. It's all ramped up. It gets me excited. So I kind of feel like between that boot camp and the versus trailer today, that you kind of get an idea of what the single player is going to play like. They show some of that. They kind of sped up the combat and mobility. Have you guys noticed the difference?
The animations look a lot better. The animations look really
good. Could that be
good,
the
very
60
smooth.
frames per second part of it?
No, it's just they still have the slide and snap into cover, but they just look a lot more fluid and faster.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah. And then the shotgun seems to be choked up, so it's it's like really hitting harder from farther away. Like the Nasher's been a complaint for a long time, right, dealer? Like in 4, they really kind of like gimped the Nasher. And what did you think when you saw the Nasher in action this week?
What I thought when I saw the whole thing was like getting hyped back up for it, because at least it's not what I want to see, which is a big campaign cinematic, or not cinematic, but a set piece. But it is gameplay. It's kind of letting me know that holy shit, not only are going to have this big campaign, but they got this big boot camp thing and all this stuff. Like they've got a pretty big team working on this for a good chunk of time. Pretty hyped. What about the tech test footage, Tim? Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched the arcade one, the one that I put a link up. It was about 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I
Is
saw
that the
that.
same? We talking about the same one where at the end, Cat was
4K 60. It looked amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna kick the horse while it's down or it's dead, but I would have put that in even that at the E3 would have been really nice. I mean, I thought that was really impressive. Like I watched that, and the first thing I thought to myself was, why was this on E3?
Yeah,
I was really impressed. So
it was
but seriously, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I looked at it and I'm like, this is really good. And this is still multiplayer.
Real quick, I gotta read this real quick so Colt can maybe do this in the background. He says, King Long in the super chat says, Google Fable 4 details leak on Reddit. And that's what he's talking about.
I don't go on Reddit anymore, but you want me to go check it out?
I'll
put on my rubber gloves.
Yeah, put
Definitely.
Just crawl inside of a giant body size condom.
Yeah, you need a hazmat suit to go into there.
Hey, NASCAR Allo said when he watched in the chat, he said when he watched the trailers this week, Doom and Gears had a baby, and that's Gears 5. Kind of. He's pretty right there. It does look pretty awesome.
Salty, what did you think of tech test footage, man?
Well, being a shooter guy myself, that's my main bread and butter. I noticed a lot of the small nuances in this game, and that's kind of the thing that you look forward to, because a lot of people, crap on Call of Duty because it's the same old, right? Before they came out with this new one with the new engine and stuff, it just kind of looks the same, and people were looking for different things, and I'm seeing a lot of different things with this new game, and that's the important thing. I know a lot of people weren't fans of them not showing off the campaign, but they showed a completely different new game mode that people can experience. And then with this arcade mode, the way that the animations, the knifing looks different. Just
Kate, instead of like an elbow or hit him with the butt of the gun, it's like he's using this knife, and who knows what other weapons, right?
Well, the mace too, man.
That huge
chick like impaled a guy with the mace and then launched his body at enemies. And she like threw that shit. I was like, dude, what the fuck's going on? This thing's awesome.
He really did stick that gun up his butt. Damn.
You watching it right now, Fonz?
Yeah, no, I seen it earlier, but I didn't catch that. And then Kate stomps on his head and just explodes the head. Yeah, the gore is there, people.
And then she's just covered in blood, and she's like, "No."
I think it's safe. I think it's safe to say that the rumors that this was going T for teen or E for everyone is wrong.
It's impossible with that kind of gore. You can't do it. Shout out to Game Bread, by the way, in Super Chat. Thank you so much. Salty, I mean, any other impressions? I mean,
the 60 hertz tick rate is important too. Just to give you an idea, that's the client to server relationship. So like on Overwatch, it has like a 21 hertz tick rate. And I talked about this before. Black Ops 4, the big battle royale, the tick rate was purposely turned down, and there's a lot of just rubber banding and stuff.
Get rid of that load for all the people.
That it's going to lead to smoother gameplay. You're talking about just 60 frames per second plus a better tick rate. Like you put all these together, plus the esports is important. I know a lot of people don't want to dwell on that, but there was a lot of people watching the esports stuff that they did. Lots of numbers. They're pulling lots of number. People are excited for this multiplayer, and that's good. Yeah, it's good for Gears, man. People need to get this excitement going.
And all this shit that we're seeing, we still haven't even seen Horde mode or the fucking campaign.
Yes.
That's like the whole point. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, arcade mode, what the fuck is this thing? And everything. It's like they just keep adding, and they've said we're taking risks. It's the biggest Gears we've ever made, and it's like, yeah, it really is. Like, holy shit.
Well, there's 10 modes, Zocker, and they have a plan to unroll 5 main modes for the game, as they show them like piece by piece for gamescom and all this stuff. So yeah, it's really cool.
And on top of it, you're going to get all free maps. There's no cases. You can buy everything you want. There's no RNG rolling. Like there's no season pass. Like all this shit. People are saying, oh, they just want you for games as a service so they keep getting your money. No, everything you're getting after that, like even the maps are going to be fucking free. Like that's what they said. That's what I made my video about. Like, holy shit! Talk about supporting and giving your customers something, right?
Chaseless Genie says, "Enjoying your crispy smooth podcast."
Fucking right, you are.
That's a throwback to when little Zocker crawled his way out of the water onto the podcast for the first time. We gave him a pretty good. Hey, but Salty, you actually brought up the 60 hertz tick rate. That is that. Let me break that down in the way that I would break it down, is that on the server side, it's going to update your position, your fighting, your shooting, your aiming, everything 60 times a second. So other players will be more accurately hit with hitboxes, and you're not going to be getting shot around corners like the old Battlefield 3 days, right? That happened because on the server side, servers are refreshing at like 24 hertz or 30 hertz. And, now it's updating twice as quick. You're going to have more accurate hitting, more accurate attacks, hitboxes, etc. And it's going to feel more connected, more joined, more responsive. They also did confirm a new recoil system, which no longer will you be sitting there with the Lancer just spraying, and then the reticle is going to spread out and make your shots less accurate. Instead, you're going to be pretty accurate like a real weapon, but you're going to feel that kick in your shoulder, and it's going to kick your stick up, and you can learn those recoil patterns, right up to the right, up to the left, straight up the middle, whatever way that gun might recoil, you can master it and get used to that kind of stuff. So if you haven't seen these trailers, actually really, really cool, which kind of segues me into one of the most ridiculous controversies I've ever seen in my couple years on Twitter. I've never seen something so stupid as for people to run with this whole gear smoking thing. Now, for a little bit of context, they basically said that they're not going to have smoking in Gears of War 5. Certain outlets like Games Radar, or Gaming Bolt rather, ran with they're removing smoking from all this stuff. Rod had to clarify like 50 times, like, look, I've never wanted smoking in Gears of War 5. It's a personal thing. I've just never wanted to promote it in a video game. Whether your stance on this is left or right, I don't really give a shit. I'm just telling you what they're saying. And I didn't, as long as I'm in control, we're not really going to have characters smoking and stuff, whatever. And he said it was never in the game. They never took it out because it was never in the game. But other outlets kind of spun it like they're removing cigarettes, and this led to a censorship thing with people that get offended at everything. So that's just what actually happened. For those that don't know, you might have heard it from one side or the other, and it got spun. But at the end of the day, there was never anything like that in the game. Rod just said that they're not ever going to put it.
He literally said that his dad died from smoking when he was like 4 or 5 years old. And that's why he's like, 4 years old, where he was like, I just don't want to promote smoking in any way. So it's not in there, and it's never been in there. And then everybody just ran with this whole thing that they're censoring you. And it's like, no, if they're censoring the creative people, that means Rod would be censored, right? No, it's his creative freedom to take it out. You're fucking stupid.
Right. Or was it ever in there in the first place?
Yeah, that's the problem. Let me ask you something, Dealer. Was there smoking in Gears 4?
I like turtles. No, there was Disney, I think, in Gears 2, maybe, or Gears 2 or 3, who there was a scene where originally he had a cigar and they took it out, but no, there was never really any smoking.
Okay, so if they're not removing smoking from Gears 5, then it's not censorship. It's just a developer's choice, his vision for the game. He doesn't want smoking in his game. So what? Who cares?
Yep.
But the problem is that the media wrote this article with the coalition involved and said that they spent several months removing smoking from Gears 5. But Rod Ferguson came out and said, and replied to everyone, he said, just to clarify, there never was smoking in the game. I've never wanted it in, so I've never had it in the games. There was no smoking to be removed.
It sounds like Puddlegate all over again. Like, who cares? Who cares?
Puddlegate was definitely much more impactful on the damn game than this. But I will say that Timothy Clark is right. Fake news, clickbait. So, like I said, I was scrolling through Gaming Bolt's feed today, and I saw how they framed it. Yeah, they were lying. That or they were lied to. But I'm going off of the source, and Gears hasn't really never had it. Let us know how ridiculous you think this is in the chat. Are you blown away that this game, the Xbox's biggest game in 3 years, is coming out, and people are latching on to any little negative thing that they can regarding the game itself, and smoking is kind of that thing, that the only thing that you can latch onto? It's kind of like when people bring something up that I said 4 years ago, and I'm like, is that really all you got, motherfucker?
I can't say that. Here's the thing, though. I can't say that I'm surprised, right? Anything that they can latch onto against Microsoft, they're going to do it, man. Like, they're going to run with it. And unfortunately, media outlets are running with, they're taking it out when it was never there to begin with. So
I actually saw somebody complain that they said, well, why did they take Gears of War out? Why did they take the war out of the thing? And the guy was like really legitimately like saying that that's a problem.
Yeah, the fucking monitor.
I just wanted to blow my head off.
Something.
Yeah, somebody said that the words of war was taken out of the title so they can coincide with the Funko Pop game, which they don't want the war word in the Funko Pop game. I don't know. I think that Rod Ferguson has always called his game Gears since he's been working on them.
Here's the deal. I call it Gears. I've always called it Gears. How many of you,
the whole community calls it Gears. Nobody really says, let's play some Gears of War. No, everybody says,
Gears. Let's play Gears.
Salty, does it blow your mind? The people are watching all this?
It does not blow my mind because everybody loves to go with misinformation. They never go to the source. The source is Rod, right? I mean, the best way to cut all this bullshit off is to go to the source, and no one wants to do it. No one wants to listen to them, man. It's like, okay, Rod takes over with the coalition at at Gears 4. You start there. It doesn't matter all the shit that happened before. If there was smoking in Gears 3 or 2 or whatever it was, Rod wasn't in charge then. You can't hold him accountable, and you can't say he's censoring shit when he's in charge and he's doing stuff his way.
Here's the best part, Salty.
It's his creative vision, you know?
Here's the best part. They're like, I don't want him to censor my games and take smoking out. It's like, hey, bro, since 2006, the very first Gears, every Gears game that's come out has had a language and a gore filter in the options every single time. And no one has ever...
They're literally censoring the game, right?
There's literally censoring the game, but they're giving you a choice. And now Rod has to like step up in front of all these articles and all these tweets from these news outlets and say, hey, there was never anything in there to be censored to begin with, and they're still running with the story. They're like, hey, Rod, be quiet for a minute. We're trying to get clicks.
So here's how silly it is, and I'm going to break this down to make it look even sillier. There's no smoking in this game anyways, regardless. There was never any smoking in it. So everybody complaining, should you then, people, complain about all the games that doesn't have smoking in it? Because there's no smoking in the game? I mean, think about it. I mean, The Last of Us had no smoking in the game. Should we complain about there not being any smoking in The Last of Us?
I mean, I'm not trying to smoke. I'm trying to smoke a rock, not a cigarette.
I'm telling you right now. Watch when Gears 5 comes out in September. Sony's gonna put out a trailer for The Last of Us 2, and the first thing she's gonna do is bust out a cigarette and just fucking sit there, puff it, and be like, so time to get to work or some shit. I don't know.
We're complaining about
we're
living in a time where gamers complain about the dumbest things out there.
Doctor, why are you bringing up Sony anyway?
I'm just saying, like, that's right.
You sound like a little
happen
boy right now.
Oh, fuck, bitch.
Oh, it was funny. He's just kidding.
I know. I'm just kidding. Hey, Bud the Cyborg, he says, no disrespect to those who have lost loved ones, but I miss cigar chomping soldiers in my games. See, this is an example of how this works. Bud offers his opinion, and we're like, hey, that's completely fine. That's your opinion. You know, so you might not agree with Bud. You might not agree with us, but that's fine. That doesn't mean that we should all hate each other, right? That's how it works. So we hear you, Bud. There's
I'll be a fuckboy right now.
There.
I'll be a fuckboy right now, just a little bitch. So Salty, from everything that you've seen from Gears 5, are you going to keep your Xbox when it comes out?
hey, it's still up in the air, man. Because I got to see that campaign, because the campaign is where it's at, man. So they're holding it back, but you know, the smoking thing almost had me. I was on the phone with someone on Craigslist. I was like, "There's no smoking in here. I'm selling my Xbox." But
you know what's funny though? You say all this, Salty, and you just got that PS4. So
yeah, I know. Hey, the funny thing is in the comments, because I did an unboxing, they're like, "So since you have a PS4, you can just say all things negative about Xbox." I'm like, "No, dude. I'm gonna play the PS4. I'm gonna be the way I am." Man.
I mean, we've all got PS4s. Do we?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
David Robinson, hey, welcome to the stream, buddy. Better late than never, he says. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to about 500 people watching this live already, guys. Come on, getting up there. Hit that like button if you can. Let's start with 300 for the end of the show. 1,000 after the fact. I know shit's dead. It's going to be dead for a while in terms of news and stuff, but we got some actual pretty good topics tonight and a great panel as well. So again, maybe share this. We share things. It really helps, especially on days like today where we're talking about fucking smoking. I do want to move on to the next topic. We did talk about the arcade mode. Majin God Goku says that arcade mode looks fire as hell as well. So I completely agree. Got me hyped for the damn game.
And just for like a couple other little things, you're going to get universal weapon tuning, no gear packs, no season pass, direct purchases, exclusive earnable content within the game for that, free maps, and then recoil-based gunplay, hit markers, and fucking kill cams, which is fucking awesome. So all that shit's being added to Gears 5 multiplayer. Like I said, man, that video I made today was fucking fun. Like seeing all that shit was cool. Like all the new stuff that they added. It really is a huge undertaking for them. They really did take that extra year, like we said, that extra year, 3 years to make this game, and they added a shit ton of things to Gears.
Minecraft. Hey, my Banjo-Kazooie composer speaks out on a potential sequel. He says he doesn't know if Microsoft is actually interested in a sequel. And really, I want to bring this up because I want to ask the chat. You know, we like to gauge the audience here. Do you guys want a Banjo-Kazooie sequel? Like, would you like for them to dedicate resources towards that?
No.
Myself, I'm thinking, why not a new?
Only if it has smoking in it.
This game is fire.
This game's fire.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not one of those guys where I'm thinking back to the N64 or the 360 playing those games and being like, I need that.
Wait,
again.
dealer, is there a deficit of like cartoony kiddie style games on Xbox One?
What?
Is there a deficit of cartoony style games on Xbox One? Is that like the hole they need to fill right now?
No, it's
No.
definitely not.
No.
It's not that I'm even against those types of games. It's that Xbox just doesn't need those types of games right now.
Yeah, they can get some other stuff out first. Like
Yeah.
we're looking at like Gears of War right now. Oops, Gears 5, and that's like the biggest like blockbuster game that the Xbox has had in a couple of years, and that's saying a lot. It really is.
Yeah. Some people really, really want a new one, but man, I in my opinion, get a new IP instead, and create some genuine hype for the brand for the hardcore fans.
Have people went back and played these games over to? I mean, because honestly, a lot of these old games, if you go back to them, they're not what you remembered. They're
It's
really
a little rough out there.
All I hear is that Switch got Banjo, that they're getting a Banjo game and all that, and all they got was a fucking character in Smash.
We said that on RDX. We said this months before E3 that we heard behind the scenes that Banjo's coming to Smash.
And that's it. But everybody wants like a whole new brand game from Banjo. Why the fuck would you want that? Who cares? Like, what the heck? Like, I get it. Some people might like it.
Some people did like it.
I mean, I get it, but it's
know.
like I want something different than
We
that.
got to create those new classics, in my opinion. You got to make the new ones because
Okay, but my point is, I loved Pac-Man in '82, but I'm not playing Pac-Man today.
How dare you?
My feeling on it is I think they kind of missed the opportunity. I think there was a time where it could have really done well and was really wanted, but I think now with the status of what's going on with Xbox, I do think they need a new IP more than a remake of Banjo that we don't even know who would do it and how good it would be. But I do think that the time has passed. They should have made it.
They should have made that instead of Lucky Tales. That's what I think.
Pretty much, exactly.
Snake says nobody wants that crap. We want God of War like games. You know what? I would agree.
I would too.
Like some big blockbuster AAA games. It's been a little bit.
Give us a Fat Thor game.
Totally.
That'd be cool.
Another Sea of Thieves. I'm ready.
Voltron, or what is this? V4 UALTRE3M. I don't know how to exactly say that. TV says I want another Blinks game. I remember that. Blinks the time sweeping cat.
Oh my gosh, dealer.
I think that's what it was. He was a cat and he could, I don't know, it was weird, man. But yeah.
That was Rand's favorite game.
Yeah, Rand's favorite game is Puppy Barbie.
I'm serious. He was into Blinks. He wanted the Blinks too.
Oh man.
Real quick, based on what I saw from the new Battletoads, I don't want any part of like doing old games like from Rare, dude, because that's looking rough, man. The art style and stuff for the new Battletoads game.
Oh man,
Well, Rare's overseeing that, but that's hand drawn animation. It's you're like, what's it? Just hand drawn animation trash, but
it's just maybe we can get a photorealistic Banjo game with smoking, and then I'll be cool with that. So
Malaka.
Yeah, you know, it's just like every time that Battletoads is brought up, I get blasted because I say, you know, even the first Battletoads wasn't a very good game. I don't know what people saw in that game. I didn't like it.
It's just a cult classic. Yeah, I mean, I was playing Ninja Gaiden back then. You know, I know Fonz was too.
Exactly.
Like those were the big games. Like we were playing Blaster Master and Ninja Gaiden and stuff on the Nintendo, and then we dinked around with Battletoads for a minute, couldn't pass the second level, and moved on.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
But I mean, Battletoads does look pretty cool. Like there's no online co-op. It's like, what in the heck are you? You guys know what?
Cole, I heard the Battletoads, this new Battletoads, is just as hard as the original. So good luck.
Yeah.
A Squad, what's going on, brother?
Hey,
Squad's in the chat. Yeah, Battletoads, I don't know. It's got, you know, a good amount of views on YouTube for what it is. We do have to move the topic forward, though. Colt, give us the updates on the initiative here. What happened on Twitter?
Drew Murray, who is one of the lead producers at the initiative. I don't have his title correct, but he said he just got back from a 12-day vacation at the beach and it seems like we have double the content as we did before I left, which is good to kind of hear some kind of update from what they're working on. And so I replied to him and I said, I forgot, what was the name of the game your team's working on again? And he fell for it. He said, let me find his reply here. Wow. Okay.
Banjo 2, Smoker's Paradise.
Yeah, I mean, it was just some funny response he gave you of a bunch of different game names mashed up.
Yeah, here's he said, Burning Blood, Debt, Diamond, Dragons of Bastard Doom.
I fucking buy that in a heartbeat. That sounds legit.
Yeah, he definitely didn't fall for it. But that's pretty cool. He left for 12 days, and they're working on twice the stuff as they were working on. They got twice the ideas up on the board, playing around with some stuff. I cannot wait for the initiative. Somebody asked the RDX question on Twitter, and I don't have it offhand. I'm a fraud. He basically said, what studio you think is really going to make that first big Xbox game? And you know, in a while anyway, in terms of new IP. The initiative, it'd be impossible not to mention the initiative here. Let us know who you think is going to make the next big Microsoft franchise in terms of first party, because that's a really, really good question. The initiative probably have one of the biggest shots here.
I think first is going to be Playground Games, a new team. I think they're going to make the next big franchise where it's going to be around for a while. And then I think Initiative is going to be right after them.
So you
I have the wild card guess.
The next team is going to work on something different?
No, I think that Fable. Oh, you're saying just next franchise? Like it needs to be a completely new IP?
The next new kind of thing, you know.
Then I would say Ninja Theory or Initiative.
Yeah. I was just watching the documentary for the making of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I learned something really cool because I'm playing that game right now. And Guerrilla Games said that they had this concept for this game that they didn't realize it closely resembled a game that Ninja Theory was working on called Odyssey Enslaved to the West. And Enslaved Odyssey to the West. And they said they had these robot mechs, and it was post-apocalyptic. And they had this Horizon Zero Dawn thing set up in the early development. Like, crap, this looks just like Ninja Theory's game. Now, when this documentary came out, Ninja Theory hadn't signed on with Xbox yet. So those of you who've played Enslaved Odyssey of the West, it's a really cool, like big story-driven game. You've got Andy Serkis plays the main character, and you've got this girl that's around, and you've got these robots that are very much like Horizon Zero Dawn.
I remember that game. That's a really good game.
It's a really good game.
Go ahead.
It's got really good melee combat. He's got this big staff that he also points as like a sniper rifle.
World too. Awesome world.
Yeah, you've got like the Last of Us kind of copied that as well, where the world has been so left alone that it's overgrown and green. Like that's which also carried into The Last of Us. That's how Enslaved looks. So if Phil Spencer has talked about Ninja Theory, we'll finally talk about what they're working on besides Bleeding Edge at next E3. So that's why I think that Ninja Theory could be the first thing to come out of Xbox Game Studios that's bigger than what we've had.
I'm kind of there with you. I think that the reason would be the next big thing. I think that they're slated for probably next year, 2020, or possibly March 2021. I think that they're the closest, and I do believe they've expanded pretty exponentially. Their studio's now like 150 people. When Xbox purchased them, they're at about 75 to 80. So, they have 26 people working on, or something like 25 people working on the Bleeding Edge, and pretty much the rest, I would say, is working on this big title. So I'm with you with that one. I agree with you there. I think that's the one.
That's like one of the best purchases, man. That's one of the best purchases of a studio. Then, if they're going to get a game in 2020 and then a whole new one in 2021 from one studio, that's fucking kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you see here, the potential here is great. I mean, you've got several studios there that has the potential to make a very big game each. So, I mean, there's a lot of upswing here with buying all these studios, and a lot of people aren't seeing that, and I think it's crazy not to see that, but it's true. I mean, honestly, if you look at these studios, you can say what you want, but these are really good developers. I mean, great developers. The initiative themselves have been gathering up a whole bunch of different developers from different companies that are high-level guys.
But they got them all. They assembled the Avengers of Gaming to build us Pac-Man 2. I told you.
Yeah. They're here to build Sea of Thieves DLC, right? That's what people have you believe. But no, I mean, I see a big potential in what they have. It's just the execution now. Please give us some mature games here. That's what we want.
I guarantee you we're going to all be wrong, and it's going to be compulsion. Watch. They're going to bring out this fucking banger, and we're not going to see it.
Like these name plates, may be finite, but the employees at those studios, they move, they change, they get new direction. The Odyssey team, for crying out loud, was part of the Unity team. It depends on the head of the snake. They lead the developers in a direction, and if it's a good creative director, then that can change everything. So the compulsion could really change things up next time around. You think, Tim? Maybe.
Yeah, I think compulsion's another one to look at. I mean, like you said, everything changes. It's like people judge things by what the last thing that they pushed out. If you did that, you would basically say Uncharted 2 would be another 80 Metacritic type game that the first one was. And look at how much like a studio like Naughty Dog has grown from their first game. And that goes for any studios. Some studios have ups and downs. They have games that are really good, and then they have a next one that's a clunker, and then they get themselves back and they push out. When you have 15 studios and you have over 3,000 developers within those studios, and that number continues to grow, it's gonna come. There's gonna come a time when the games are just gonna start to flow. I mean, that's what we've been saying for. Since all this has happened, it just has to materialize.
It's been a year.
And once it materializes, the smoking will probably come up. And why isn't there smoking in every one of their games? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the next. Honestly, if they deliver on everything that they're supposed to, and that's including mature content, I think that's like the last thing left that I can really can say is a legit argument or question to Xbox is like, where's your mature exclusives other than Halo or Gears and whatever. But I think that's going to be answered too, because I don't really think that the Ninja Theory is going to have a cartoony game. I don't think that their next game, other than Bleeding Edge, I think it's going to be more along the lines of Hellblade. You know what I mean? It's going to be that type of game. So
Hellblade's still one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the time to be negative. Dan, we've been negative for a long time. Maybe there's a little time to just have a little bit of fun and try to look at the positive side of things. Because when you're looking like you're looking and you're going as far as you're going, you're just making yourself look stupid at this point. I mean, some of the arguments that I see, and Fonz talked pre-show about how he sees tweets that he usually would respond to and he doesn't respond to it because it's not worth it. That's me. That's me too. Like it's like it's at this point, like I just say whatever, I'll go hang out with my friends or whatever. Not gonna even gonna talk to this.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point if someone's just needlessly negative constantly and they just can't find something that they enjoy, they just end up getting ignored. But I'm sure there's one studio from each of the Xbox game studios that's going to make something for one of us that like we really love. Compulsion, they kind of did some cool stuff with We Happy Few, and that game's just it's averagely rated. It's like a 70, I think. That team was working under a Kickstarter forever, and then Gearbox came in and did what Gearbox does. They made like some easy money. They said, "Hey, here's a little bit of funding. Don't worry about that thumb drive I left on the table." And out you go. There goes We Happy Few. But the lead at We Happy Few, he worked on the Dishonored series, and if you're a Dishonored fan, maybe they're going to make something new that's kind of like Dishonored, maybe a little more modern. Who knows? Just the constant they're only going to make AA games. Like, all right, and enjoy it because it's going to change. Because Obsidian's already working on their next game. They've got their team wrapping up Outer Worlds for this fall, and they're already in the middle of working on their next RPG, and that's going to be only on the Xbox Microsoft ecosystem. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I guarantee you, there's something that you, Mr. I don't believe it. it's probably really going to like. So
I got somebody in the chat said, is the initiative making 2 AA games, which makes them quadruple A? No, just listen. Don't go off of like stupid rumors that people are making up out of their ass. Okay, go off of what they've said. You know, their job listings have said quadruple A games. You know, they've talked about this being one of the, you know, the set pieces of their franchises. Like this whole new studio has superstars on it. So just fucking wait and stop making.
It literally says like in the post announcing the studio like that they're set up to design and build big new quadruple A quote unquote new IP, right? And quadruple A, yeah, it sounds silly, but that's their way of saying, look, we got the budget. There's a big budget behind this next project.
And you know, I have to say, you gotta watch who you listen to. You know, wherever it is, if it's YouTube or Twitter, you're following different people. You gotta watch who you're listening to because. I mean, here are the facts. A lot of these people are running around. They were originally saying that, you know, who was it? The Bleeding Edge developer, Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory was forced to make Bleeding Edge. Microsoft forced them to do that. When in reality it came out, Ninja Theory themselves said, no, we're a small little team here of 15 making this game. The bigger team is on to bigger and better things. Well, you know, that was blown out of the water.
I remember those guys that were giving me shit because I put that on Twitter, and they said that it was snake oil and that it was lying and that we just made shit up. And then
they said they started on it in 2014.
A big bowl of frosted L's, and they ate that shit.
And then just recently, we had the same people running around telling everybody that Gears 5 is going to be a T for teen game. They took out all the gore, and look at what happened.
Were people really saying that, Fonz?
Yes. Yeah.
I must have the right.
It was SAW. It was watered down.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and my point stands. You guys need to watch who you're following, watch who you're listening to, and you know you can listen to that for fun and entertainment. But at the end of the day, don't spread that message. Don't spread.
It makes you look dumb.
It looks really bad.
My comment on this whole thing is the proof's in the pudding. If you spend money and you hire all these people that have a proven track record, plus we heard that they're sharing resources now and secrets and tech. Like, hey, if we need some help on the water, maybe we'll talk to Rare.
Can you tell me you make that sandwich?
Yeah, man, that's a good sandwich. Yeah, like what about Undead Labs, man? Like, so they were a small team, right? They had limited budgets and resources. Now, I mean, the sky's the limit, right? You have all these funds and resources. Like a lot of these games that didn't have the resources before, they have them now. And then and you know.
By the way, shout out to the Iron Lords because they're the ones that blew that up about Ninja Theory and that smaller team making Bleeding Edge and everything. They asked the source. They went to Ninja Theory and asked them again.
Like Ninja Theory had already confirmed this already, and people thought that I was just making shit up because they're all idiots. And then Iron Lords did an interview, and I said, "Thanks for helping me laser all these idiots who came at me over stuff they didn't even bother to Google." And quote of the night, by the way, 9 Lives 210 in the chat. West Webb is a fraud. Love it.
I got to talk to a handful of the people at Ninja Theory that made Bleeding Edge at E3, and like you could tell they were not for. Well, I mean, obviously they made that game 4 or 5 years before the Xbox acquisition. Like they were already working on it, but you could tell they loved. Now, if Bleeding Edge isn't for you, man, these guys wanted to make this game, and they're excited about it. They're proud of it, and I got to play the alpha, and it's pretty fun.
If you're into like the MOBA style,
it's like a little party co-op game with your friends, and it's competitive, and there's teamwork in it, and it's got really cool sound, and it looks really, really great. And it's it's not the biggest game ever, but it's awesome.
Hey, shout out to Real Deal Neil, who's a new channel member as well. Remember, guys, you get that like button and become a channel member today. I do not dictate any of that pricing stuff that I've seen. I just click the button, fill out the blanks, and I'm looking for more emoji ideas. Have some more made because at this rate we're unlocking more and more and more. So please comment at the show posts or message me on Twitter for some ideas, maybe some inside joke stuff like that. We finally cracked 500 fucking people watching. This slow as fuck today. So if you're watching, maybe share this, help us out. We're struggling today. Some days YouTube is just dead, man. So
but we're not struggling. Like we have tons to talk about. We're glad you guys are here.
Saying, there's certain days where YouTube's just dead, Twitter's just dead, and this is kind of one of them. The Gears thing is kind of one of the bigger things today. So if you can help us out by sharing this out on Twitter or anywhere, Zalker for you, as always, Grinder or Malaka Mingle. And, that way.
GreekSoldier.com.
I got back from a smoke. What happened?
Oh, yeah. Rob Ferguson comes and rips kicks a cigarette through the back of your head.
Right.
Give us the latest on Cyberpunk real quick before we move on to some bigger topics.
Okay, real quick here. I got a video detailing all this stuff. You guys can check it out at The Grounded Gamer. But a Reddit user asked CD Projekt Red. He said, what about the violence in the game? What can V, the protagonist in the game, who can they attack and everything? And they said, you can attack just about anyone except for children. Of course, they don't want you attacking kids. And there's NPCs that are directly tied to the main storyline. You can't attack them.
What do you mean? I can't attack children?
Yeah, you can't attack
That's
children.
not realistic at all.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's censorship.
Yeah, but anyway, but you can attack pretty much anywhere else. But they do warn you. There are dire consequences to attacking certain groups if you're affiliated with them or whatnot. So there are things, you got to worry about what you do in the game, essentially. And also, some people out there, some YouTubers are spreading this thing that, CD Projekt Red might be creating a demo for the game that should be out early next year. And this is all based on an article that came out. And they're just taking these words and running with it and manipulating what they're saying. And in my opinion, anyway, I don't think there's a demo coming personally. I talk more about this on my channel again, but I don't think there's a demo because they've never done this before. Okay, that'd be out of the norm for CD Projekt Red. Usually they would just have, a few select journalists or whatnot play a little bit of the game so they can get word out there that, hey, the game's great. And that's what I think they were alluding to in that article. I don't think it had anything to do with an actual demo being made for the public, but that's what some people are spreading. I say that don't believe that, but, and also Amazon Prime Days. That's going on right now. You can get a lot of games and consoles and everything cheap, including Cyberpunk. Right now for $50, you can get Cyberpunk 2077.
You sound like a commercial fonts.
So
do your commercial voice.
Right now, you can get you can get Cyberpunk for $50.
There it is.
That's hey, $50. Pre-order it. It's going to be.
Says they'll surprise me if they do something other than AA, and if it's AAA, it'll be unfinished like Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. You gotta sit here and think for a second, Snakes. Like when those games were in development, you're talking about 2015. Those games were in development in 2015, 2014. The budget was completely different. I'm gonna look at what they're doing, which is adding employment. They're increasing the size of every studio they have, from what we've heard. These studio heads have already come out and said our game looks even better than it used to because of this. They're raising the quality of the games, not lowering, and they're also giving them more time. They've also over doubled the amount of studios that they have. So to call back to 2017 with two games that were clearly not funded by massive budgets, and one of which, State of Decay 2, clearly a low budget kind of title from what was then a third party. I don't know, man. I don't know where you would get that from. Look at Gears 5, and hopefully in 2020 and forward, I'm with you. You've heard us talk about this every week. We want bigger, better games, we want blockbusters, and that's what we're waiting on. But until they show me that going forward, that's what they're going to offer, I just don't believe it.
I agree with you, Dealer, on all that. But how dare you interrupt my commercial? How dare you?
I just was like surprised by that statement. I'm like, look at what they're doing. If Sony were doubling their studios, people would be freaking the fuck out. King Ram, pay the bills, Dealer. Let me look.
Look at King Ram.
Oh no, I ain't gonna read that stuff, man. We don't do any of the SJW shit around here. But honestly, some of those channels out there that push all that stuff and that propaganda, it's so cringy. It's a big problem with YouTube right now. This negative political clickbait shit that's been going on for a long time. It's an easy way to grow, but at the end of the day, it's not. I don't know. Just I don't fuck with it. I don't
actually by the studios doubling and all that. A lot of people kept saying that Sony's buying studios. Can I just say, because it's kind of irritating, until they actually buy a fucking studio, can we shut the fuck up about it? Like until they actually purchase a studio and actually show you that they got a big studio or even bought a studio, let's relax. All right.
But studios make games, Soccer.
I know they do, and I get like, hey, the San Diego
you have to buy them first. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. But I understand the San Diego one, but they haven't said anything officially about that one. And that's an internally made studio. But people are talking about Remedy,
like less.
Like Remedy and all these other ones. It's like just relax until they do it. Then we'll talk about it. Until then, stop saying that they're buying it. They're going to kill Xbox. They haven't bought shit. So relax.
Yeah, I thought Xbox is already dead. I've been hearing that for forever now, right? So
I went to the grave.
That's their most profitable year ever, like last year, and then they've doubled their studios, and then they hired more people, and it's just a predictable path of mobile gaming is going to kill everything. We've heard it all, people. That's my point. We've got a pop-up that just came up. But B-Man in the super chat says, Malaka, I love Ninja Theory. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm really hoping, high hopes there for Ninja Theory. And by the way, if you're checking us out, guys, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 300 for the end of the show. 1,000 at the fact. Thank you so much. We've also got another, I already read that one, didn't I? Shane in the super chat. I want to see Marcus meet Chief and go racing in the Legoland. Yeah, that would be pretty insane there, Shane. Thank you so much.
I'd buy that DLC.
Yeah, I would be very disappointed in that. And we've also got another new member as well, if I can find that, which this fucking chat always, every time I'm scrolling, it shoots me at the very bottom for some dumb reason.
Hey, when dealer's reading, guys, just start typing tons of stuff.
Hey, look in the super chat. Gears 5. Yeah, she's going to play that as well. We've got another channel member as well, Ben Johnson. Thank you so much, sir. Do appreciate it. So at the end of the day, Cyberpunk, you can also collect cars and motorcycles and stuff in the game too, right, Fonz?
Yeah. You can have apartments with garages and stuff, and you get like GTA and basically collect cars and stuff. So
I didn't expect that. I didn't either.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It just adds to that immersion.
They are talking a lot about that game right now.
Yeah.
They really are.
And if you want to hear more, go to the Grounded Gamer.
Go to groundedgamer.org.
Yeah, seriously, go to Fonz's channel. He's been making 4 to 5 minute videos that just hit the latest Cyberpunk news and then just gets the heck out. He's like, well, I got to go. I gave you the news. Grounded Gamer. No, they're really good. Like, he makes them really short. He gets right to the point.
He said, I'm out.
I've been checking them all. Yeah, and I'm out.
Rarehead Craig Duncan says he sees no limits to the possibility for xCloud. Now, I want to run through a few things that people say that I've heard. There are people that say games on all of these different devices will kill the Xbox brand. There will be no reason to get an Xbox because you can get the games anywhere. They also say games won't come to Xbox because obviously you can get the games all over the place. For one, you're neglecting the fact that an install base is an install base. So games will come for that reason alone. At least all the biggest games. We want some of the smaller ones and some of the more niche ones for Xbox fans as well. But if anything, xCloud will actually increase the amount of games that Xbox gets, not kill Xbox. So no, to work on xCloud, remember, there are well over 1 billion smart devices out there that can handle 4G signals. All you need is 4G for xCloud to work. That's a potential customer. For that xCloud service to work on that device, for a game to work on xCloud, it has to work on the Xbox One. xCloud will not play games that are not on Xbox One. So if you're a developer or a small developer or a niche developer or a developer that many Xbox fans in this region don't really buy your types of games, it's a really big incentive once xCloud is up and running because to port your game to Xbox One because you want it to be on xCloud because xCloud is going to be everywhere, right? Territories where you don't even have Xbox, you'll probably never have Xbox.
I want to ask you something about xCloud real quick. Is xCloud going to give it to you?
I don't know about I don't know any of that, but I did want to kind of sum this up by saying that if a developer wants their stuff on xCloud, which has a bigger appeal because of the amount of people that can have access to it, then they're going to have to put their games on Xbox for you to buy and to play locally. It's the way it works. You just got to run Xbox One.
It's going to be an Xbox platform, yeah.
The xCloud device count will actually be the incentive that drives software to the platform. The fact that it is everywhere is literally the reason that developers will put their games on an Xbox console, and has to be on the console for it to be on xCloud, which can be pretty much everywhere.
The thing is people have been asking for like a portable way to play your Xbox. So like, oh, when are they going to come out with the Vita of the Xbox? Like, I've been hearing from other people. Like, trust me, it may not be the majority, but xCloud is a way to be able to play it in a different way. That's all it is, man. I mean, if you're on the go and you want to play it on your phone, you can do that. And it's just another way to access your games. You know, you could play it on your Xbox, or you could play it on PC with Xbox Game Pass PC, or you could play it on your phone. It's an option. I think that's good for gamers, because if, you know, people like the Switch for its portability, you're going to have that option as well with xCloud. I think it's a good thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, like, users count, users matter, right? So yeah, you can play the game on Steam or PC or that, or even other consoles, but the fact that xCloud is going to be so big is one of the biggest reasons that devs will definitely bring it to Xbox One.
How soon do you think it'll be for Google Stadia to upgrade their hardware in their platform for Stadia? Because they're doing like that 10 teraflop or whatever setup.
They don't need to. Honestly, it doesn't matter if they got 4. If they got better latency than xCloud, latency is going to be the #1 reason that people go to a certain streaming service, I think.
Yeah.
Like, if your latency is actually tolerable and not noticeable, which we're hearing from you and Tim and others that, you know, Tim, you played a Project xCloud, right? I mean,
the first test that Verge did had it at 67 milliseconds, so that's pretty good. Supposedly the input lag or something on a controller is like 70. Or I heard I remember somebody told me, I think it's hard to see below 70 milliseconds from what I was told. But from using it and playing it, some games better than other games, but some games that you do play, man, you're really going to be probably playing that a lot on your phone and stuff like that. It's going to open up a new way for people to you know, massively use it, and I'm not just talking about the server side where you can play, hey, I can play off my Xbox, but the data center streaming. I mean, the ability to buy a game and then just play it 3 seconds later is going to be pretty cool. I mean, it's
without
not gonna,
downloading.
without downloading. I mean, it's not going to be for all games because the third party has to allow it. But anything can run on it, because what's run on it, it's run on an Xbox at its core, at Xbox One. So that's what it's built for, and it's seamlessly. I was, like I said, like, when I played at E3, I was like, when I played Halo 5, I really was like, wow. I mean, I played other games like Hellblade. You know, I wouldn't want to really mess with that on the phone.
It didn't look dumbed down or anything, which was really cool. I was so surprised. I was playing Forza Horizon 4, and this guy right next to me, because we were like elbow to elbow, he's playing Halo 5, and I look over at that little phone. I'm like, what? That looks like as sharp as like you've ever seen it before on a like, you know, when we render high quality footage from the game DVR on the X.
But as everyone knows, that sharpness is going to come through. Yeah, pixel density, the distance you are from that display, and obviously the pixel density and the size of your display goes hand in hand. So
I got to get something else out there that Microsoft didn't talk about on the stage when they talked about xCloud, but I was talking to Bill Stillwell from the xCloud team, and he just threw this out there. He's like, yeah, this is just going to scale up as we move along in the generation. And I said, you mean like with the Scarlett? He goes, oh yeah, you know, when the Scarlett comes out, we're going to start putting Scarlett in the blades. And when games run on the Scarlett, you're going to be able to play them on xCloud like you're playing on the Scarlett. Yep. So they're going to have like both sets running at the same time when everything gets up and going, where they'll have the Xbox blades for the Xbox games, the Xbox One games. They'll have the Scarlett blades, so you can get that, because Phil Spencer wants us to have a seamless, you know, not disconnected experience with xCloud. Like, if you want to play over at your mother-in-law's house while they're watching boring TV, if you want to sit on the couch and pick up the game you're in the middle of before you left, you can have that feeling like it's just like I'm at home, but the screen's smaller and I've got like a wireless controller connected there, you know, rubber banded on or whatever.
You know, I've been listening to what Phil Spencer wants for a while. I want him to give me some big ass games. A Lone Star says, dealer, explain how Xbox is missing out on some of these games right now. How will xCloud bring in new games to customers? That's kind of what I just went over. If you got 40 million consoles out there, but you got xCloud, which has access to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of 4G enabled devices, the developer has to port the game to Xbox for it to even work on xCloud. Even if they just port it to Xbox just so they can have access to that broad user base of xCloud, you know, it'll still be on your console. And cross save, all that stuff, cross play if you want, and that in itself is a reason to put games on Xbox, not kill the brand. It'll actually bring more software to the brand. So, you know, money talks. That's definitely
Dealer, real quick. Did you guys hear the interview by Phil Spencer? It was the Giant Bomb one where he's talking about how long we're gonna have traditional consoles, and they went into cloud streaming. He actually kind of put a dig out there, and he said that cloud streaming, where it would be on the level of like a Scarlett. This is a paraphrase, obviously, but he said it's not there yet. That's why they're doing the 720p situation and then going up. I think the difference between Stadia and xCloud is going to be the input lag, and I think that's going to kill Stadia, because I think they're going to have a major issue with that, because they're trying to put out these buzzwords of 4K, 8K, 120 frames per second, but honestly, first impressions are everything, and if you put that out there and gamers are playing with input lag, I would cancel my service immediately, because it's just input lag. It just makes games unplayable. Like,
you'd probably rather play at 720p on your phone and have a latency that's actually pretty good.
Well, I think the biggest hurdle Stadia has compared to Xbox is that they don't have a lot of games coming to Stadia right off the bat. And I think, potentially 3,500 games, right? Or whatever the hell it was. Like, everything we've invested in this ecosystem might be coming with us with xCloud, and they just are way better set up for the last, Xbox has been around for almost 20 years. Like, it's just, it's fucking there. And that's what it is. And Google is coming in, and, they have one first party studio. And I'm not even talking about just exclusives. I'm just talking games in general. Like, it takes a lot of time and development time for developers to go into something new like Stadia and program for it and import their game to it.
Lone Star, just so you know, bud, basically from what Phil's hinted at and what we think is going to happen is they're going to bundle streaming into Game Pass Ultimate.
That'd be awesome.
This is all kind of been done before. PlayStation Now has done this already. You can stream those games that are streamable. You can't do it on mobile right now, but that's their goal. They've already said put it on every device, right? Part of why they're partnering with Microsoft. So you can stream where it's streamable, and those games that, if you can play them locally somewhere, they want you to be able to download them and play them as well.
Yeah,
so that's kind of the route Xbox is going. They want to bundle that into Game Pass Ultimate most likely, and they want to make as many games playable as possible there.
I think Zocker's right when he says the biggest hurdle is the games, the amount of games, but also the fact that with Xbox it's an option. And with Stadia there is no option. It's all or nothing with their cloud-based service, and that is the biggest difference there. It's
like if you buy a game on Stadia funds, you can't then go and at least download it on your PC or a console, right?
No, and then that's the problem. Like I love the fact that, let's say xCloud gets bundled in with Game Pass Ultimate, which I have. That'd be awesome for me, because if I wanted to try it on the phone, I could do that.
I think that's very likely. Not to cut you off, but what you just said, I think that going through, through some of the people, I think even Colt was there, but some of the things, I think that's something being discussed. So that is, I would say, a very good chance of happening.
Yeah,
what you just said.
The Game Pass thing.
It would be the Ultimate would be included with xCloud. Would be limited to data. You could do it from data on Game Pass games. Not every game, but Game Pass games.
Well, it could be if you have Game Pass Ultimate. Every game in Game Pass Ultimate is supported in xCloud. You don't pay for it because you pay $15 a month for Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass, and Ultimate on PC. So you get. And I actually was predicting this quite a while. Like 8 months ago. Not because I think I'm smart, just because it makes sense. And Tim's seeing it too. Like, it just makes sense that they want to get you in that service. They're pushing good games. This recent update wasn't very great for Xbox Game Pass, but if they get you into that service, then you don't have to pay a different fee for xCloud. And those games would already be, I guess, approved. Like, just the point that they're in Game Pass probably circumvents any legalities or any of the publishers going, wait, no, I don't want my game on xCloud. It's like, well, you're on Game Pass. You can't already greenlit the off the console purchase thing. So,
Well, at the end of the day, it's streaming. We'll see how it is when it gets here. You always said that it's an option. I have always said that I'll never personally do it if I ever have a choice. I don't have this OLED, and I'm not buying an Xbox Project Scarlett for no reason, right? I want the highest fidelity possible with HDR and the highest frame rates possible on a console, because that's just what I prefer, console gaming. So it is what it is. Halo Infinite getting a secondary support team. Now, this has been kind of going around. Apparently, 343, as big of a team as they are looking for additional help, I guess, polishing the game out and adding some stuff to the game. And the interesting thing about this is that the team they're hiring is actually the same team that came in and helped with EA's facial expressions on Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, the confusion here is that I guess people are thinking, if I understand this correctly, they didn't develop the facial expressions in the game. When it launched, you got all the backlash, right?
Okay.
It came in because EA actually updated the game and tried to fix the facial animations, right? That's how bad the backlash was on the game, which seems crazy to me, but they hired an outsider team, a contracted team, to come in and try to help them fix these animations while the base team transitioned over. So from what I understand, this is the team that they hired to come in after the fact and try to resolve the facial animations and fix the facial animations in Mass Effect Andromeda.
My face is tired.
It's not the team that fucked the facial animations up, from how I understand it.
I mean, what facial animations are there? Like Master Chief's mask?
There were some, there were some funny ones out there, but I mean, my playthrough, they weren't great or anything.
I didn't have problems on Mass Effect Andromeda either, and I played it day one.
Oh, I did. I've seen the funny faces. It's pretty bad.
I can Google glitches and funny shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Out there, I've never personally seen them in the game though.
That was before the patches, though.
I played it day one.
Oh, did you?
I don't know. My complaint. I mean, we're not talking about Mass Effect Andromeda tonight, but my complaint was that the game just looked too Pixar-like compared to the old games. Like the old games looked dang photorealistic as far as the shading and like the facial structure. And then everybody had this baby face. Like my character looked a lot like me, but he just looked like, I don't know, like he was on The Incredibles or something.
DJ in the chat says the googly eyes. Yeah, there were some definitely funny ones I saw online. But personally, I went through that game. I got like 90 hours in it. There was not much to play.
Yeah, but it wasn't just about the googly eyes, like the deadpan looks and everything. That they had no real emotion to their face at all in the beginning.
I mean, a lot of games had that though, and
but
this game got a shit ton of backlash. Like that's all. Channels were built on this shit. Like it was that bad. Like anytime negative stuff in gaming happens, channels will start up or people will capitalize to make money, and they'll talk about this kind of stuff, and it just fueled itself. It was just really weird to see.
Yeah.
But they were kind of wonky. I just didn't experience the crazy ones or anything. So
the team that came in the 9th inning and tried to fix Mass Effect Andromeda's animations has been contracted to work with Halo Infinite.
How I understand it, that team that came in and tried and patched the game after it came out to try to fix the faces is working with Halo Infinite developer 343. So that will be one of the.
We don't know what they're working on for Halo, right? Or are they like a specific like facial animation experts, and that's the only thing they should work on?
No, we don't have any.
Read Lone Star's comment, dealer. It's up about 10 spots.
Go ahead.
He says the developer team is talented, but it's weird that 650 employees at 343 need more help. Maybe they just want the game to be the best possible.
Well, it's the same thing with the Coalition. A lot of people don't know that Splash Damage did pretty much the multiplayer for Gears 4. A lot of the multiplayer. A lot of these teams, that's how big the campaigns and stuff are. A lot of these teams have support teams like Splash Damage and like this team. So
it's good because we've seen a lot of Microsoft games the past couple of years where they like, is it done? Yeah. All right, put it out. But it's good to see like 343 saying like the game's coming out when it's done.
Yeah, and I've heard nobody complain about the animations, facial or body animations in the Halo Infinite trailer, so I have no issues with it.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and the other thing too with Lone Star, what he said, Rare actually contracted another developer that's like 50 or 40 miles away from Rare to do the arena for Sea of Thieves. So they worked closely with them and sent like 20 people over there to work with them, and they made the arena. Like Xbox does that; they hire outside too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's better to see that support. They
If we knew everything that went on realistically with all the workings of all these developers, most of the stuff is you can't draw conclusions like, oh, now we're gonna have googly eyes on. But it's just part of Halo is going to be absolutely huge. So, in addition to, like you said, 650 people, they probably still what they're building, they still need manpower, and the bigger the game, the more people you need.
This is a little bit the only game we know that launches with the new consoles. It's the only game between any console.
This is a little off topic, but it's on the same lines of all this animation developers and stuff. The Initiative, didn't they pick up an animator from Rockstar?
They picked up all kinds of different employees. Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep
up. Yeah, I think I
think that's Chris. Maybe I think that's Chris, but I'm not sure.
That got me excited because Rockstar's got some of the best animations in the biz. So
if not the best, yeah. So. Mind-blowingly good on Red Dead 2, and the fact that they maintain such a high fidelity as well. Yeah. Pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, they are getting the support team. It's kind of common in the business. I mean, hell, even like a team like Montreal, Warner Brothers Montreal with Batman Arkham Origins of 2013, they hired outside. They contracted that multiplayer. Like, this happens a lot. It'll be interesting to see how this team is doing support. Maybe it's they're building some customization. Maybe they needed more manpower to polish certain animations. Maybe they, like I said, maybe they're the guys making the armor sets that you can upgrade, or you never know.
Well, how good is that 343 said, hey, we need an expert on this aspect of the game we're finished working on. Yeah. And they went and hired somebody instead of saying, hey, Jimmy, go look something up on YouTube.
I don't think it's about no 343 have an expert in every field. Yeah, every single field. I think that they needed more manpower.
The thing is, it's weird because all these dudes go to school for developing, and yeah, they worked on Mass Effect Andromeda, but it's such negative connotations attached to that game that immediately people just attach themselves to that. Oh my, the facial animations. Oh, it's just like these guys work on other stuff. They're trained. They're doing stuff on a game that we don't know about, end of story, So
yeah, and here's the thing about the 343 team as well. It's good that they're doing something like that because it's obvious that they probably want to meet that deadline, and that's awesome. But you got to think too, 343 themselves are comprised of a bunch of old Bungie developers as well. So I mean, some Bungie employees that were working on Destiny have gone back to 343 as well. So, I mean, hey, they've got some good talent.
NASCAR in the chat he says, didn't 343 hire a guy from NASA? I think they actually did.
That was the Initiative.
Oh, the Initiative did. Okay.
Yeah. They hired a rocket scientist.
What is the Initiative cooking up? I need to know.
Go to Mars.
Lucky Tale 2 in VR.
Something in space.
You said Lucky Tale 2 in VR. That's great.
I mean, maybe the NASA guy's there to fix the Keurig. I have no idea, but it's going to be cool.
Damn, Keurig. Hey, there's some little known games. Like I had mentioned one of them to Lethal in the chat, and he's like, I wouldn't even have known that was coming, like, because the marketing is not there, right? And these aren't first party, but there's some new Xbox games to look out for in the store. I think they're all up in the store actually right now to pre-order and go look at. Man of Medan. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It's from the makers of Until Dawn, and I think it's got Ice Boy from Quantum Break in it, actually. I do believe. And this is their first game they're putting on Xbox. It looks really, really good, just like Until Dawn. If you want to check it out, it's in the store. Check it out after the show. I'm actually going to try it out, but it's basically, if you ever played Until Dawn, it's kind of like a story game where you got to make decisions, kind of like a very, very high-end Telltale game with much more violence and gore. A big emphasis on realism in many aspects of their game. So it's a very, very high-end kind of story-based game like that. If you didn't know about it, I'm letting you know now. Just like I kind of let Lethal know, he's liking Until Dawn right now. Wreckfest, once PC exclusive, coming to console. That comes out next month as well as Until Dawn. Man of Medan. Wreckfest is a demolition derby game with a shit ton of physics-based gameplay, stuff like that. Looks really cool. That's in the store to check it out. You would never see marketing for it. I'm just letting you know that it is the thing. As well as Grid, simply known as Grid,
It is basically kind of like a reboot for the franchise. Grid's been all over the place, including the toilet. It's crawled out and has found its old handling model from Grid 1.
Codemasters.
Yeah, they kind of came back with the Grid 1 style handling. They said that they want to go back to that Grid 1 feel, and that's on the store. So if you're a Grid 1 fan and you want to play that with updated visuals and, of course, you know, a better version of Grid 1's handling, but with that same feel where you can go through a corner precisely and controlled, or if you want, you can drift through that corner, and it all kind of feels like Grid 1 in a way.
With rewind.
This is kind of a spiritual reboot in the modern time with more cars.
I played Grid back in Pad. It still actually looks really nice for an old game. Yeah.
Isn't that game like 15 years old?
It's like 10 years
12.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And Game Pass actually announced new games coming out too. They announced 6 new games.
Right.
The Phantom Pain, Resident Evil 4, Killer Instinct, Definitive Edition, the Banner Saga 3, and then for PC, Nightfall and For the King. So they're
it's not their biggest.
Awesome.
Not their biggest.
Oh no, I'm just saying they just announced it. It's
nice.
pretty cool.
Killer Instinct's a great game. Honestly, it was for a time there. I was playing a lot of that, and I feel it was one of the best fighting games of this.
What are you getting with Game Pass Killer Instinct? Because you know the game comes with like 6 or 8 fighters. If you don't buy it,
I think you get the full edition of it.
Yeah,
ultimate. It's the ultimate.
Yeah,
it's the ultimate. So it has everything.
Every character.
So aside from the Game Pass and those other games that we listed, PlayStation 5, there's this article going around. I think it's from lordsofgaming.net actually. PlayStation 5 4 times faster than the PlayStation 4, and that's according to some figures that are out there. All this stuff's kind of been going around. Colt, wouldn't it kind of, because Microsoft already said 4x power, blah blah blah. I don't know how Sony are judging their power figures there, but wouldn't the Xbox, the next Xbox, on the same logic, they're claiming the same thing, wouldn't it be is that faster or slower?
Dude, this is really nuts. Like, I did this debunking video that you guys all made fun of me for about a month ago, where I just pointed out these 4 or 5 different reasons why all these things point to the Scarlett being more powerful than the PS5. The only thing pointing to PS5 being more powerful was an unnamed dev who won't come out from underneath his pillow that says that the PS5 is more powerful. I mean, this is interesting because Sony said explicitly that the PS5 is 4 times faster than the PS4 Pro. And separately, Microsoft said that the Xbox Scarlett is 4 times faster. Now, remember, I'm saying the word faster. 4 times faster than the Xbox One X. And I asked on Twitter if anybody can do basic math. We know that the Xbox One X, I don't know what the percentage is faster than the Pro as far as compute processing. Deal, you probably know that number off the top of your head.
I like turtles.
I hate it when you do that. You like that, don't you?
Okay.
So anyway, the whole thing is, you know, that
Jesus
only one Griggly Monster show.
Yeah.
So we know the Xbox One X processor is faster. It does more instructions per clock than the Pro. So I mean, it's just like that thing. Like Phil Spencer said that when we said the 4 times more faster, that we're talking about just the compute. And Dealer knows more about that tech than I do. So where does that leave us with the whole thing? Like, which one's more powerful?
Fuck knows until something official is confirmed.
Yeah, give me your freaking.
It's just hard for me to care anymore, man. Like we've just heard so much bullshit. There's so many people out there that are just putting so much bullshit out there. There's people that don't even know how to read that are like now talking about this stuff.
I know, but like we can listen or not listen to the people out there who are talking on social media on their YouTube channels. But like, what is Sony and Microsoft saying right now?
The same thing. They said they're both fast.
X was relative to the CPU. Sony hasn't really confirmed shit. They won't even confirm hardware accelerated ray tracing, even though in every comment section, people are like, it will have it. It does have it. A developer on Reddit said it. It's like, shut the fuck up. We don't know.
And I want to be very clear. I've never assumed that the Scarlett will be more powerful than the PS5 on the level of the X and the Pro. Like, I don't expect that whatsoever. I expect like a delta that's kind of like the base PS4 and the Xbox. But it like that, none of that matters because it's really going to come down to 2020, what kind of games Xbox has ready for launch that first year, and what PlayStation 5, and it already looks like there's going to be some really. I mean, we don't know what's coming on the PS5 because all that stuff is hush hush. But it's just about the games, and all these games are going to look great.
It'll be interesting to see if they talk about this year. They kind of hinted that that's why they didn't do E3. They had another event they kind of want to do, right? So that didn't really happen. Someone met Mark Cerny in a closet with a dev kit, and that's about it. So
got briefed,
and some people were briefed.
I got briefed, which is just ridiculous. But hey, at the end of the day, let us know your thoughts down below. We did the best we could with what we had. Kind of a dead week yet again. Sometimes it happens, man. We do appreciate those who still happen to give a fuck and actually showed up and checked us out. Shout out to all of you checking us out after the fact. A lot of you guys are overseas or sleeping right now. We do appreciate every single bit of support that we get on this show. Get a reason that we do this and are able to kind of continue getting our voice out there. So thank you guys so much for what you do. That was our final topic. Hit that like button on your way out as we do some outros and check these guys out here on the panel as well. We're going to start with Colt Eastwood, man. How have you been? What have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I'm on 2 weeks until Wolfenstein Youngblood. So I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like 23 hours into it. I really like the game. It looks awesome. Really enjoying it. And I'm trying to get that done so I can get back on Xbox and play Wolfenstein. And then, it's been really great. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Colt Eastwood, and join the channel if you want to support. And thanks for having me on.
Oh, speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, I actually, who was it? Fuck. Somebody, Lynchpin, I think, wanted to know my thoughts on that Razer Raiju PS4 controller that's like an Xbox 360 controller, kind of. I don't have enough time on it. I don't have enough time on that controller because I don't play the PlayStation enough. But what I can tell so far is that it's not bad. I'm not sure if it's $100 good or anything like that, but the quality is good. The form factor could be a little wider. Because I got broad shoulders, so I'm not sitting there with my hands fucking cuffed when I'm playing games. It could be a little wider, like the Xbox form factor. I couldn't get the party chat to work on Bluetooth mode. That's probably on my end. I don't know. I can get it to work on USB mode, but it's high quality. It's an inexpensive controller, though. So really do your research before you fuck with that Raiju controller. And speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, I also got an Elgato 4K 60 capture card, and I installed it on my PC. And again, this thanks to every one of you who check out this channel and content. You guys power all this stuff. I did actually try it out on the Pro first because the Pro's DVR is fucking horrible, as I explained in my Days Gone review. This capture card is legit. So I actually uploaded an unlisted clip on the community section. It's like 5 minutes of combat in Horizon Zero Dawn at 4K, really good bit rate, really high quality. And you guys that are channel members and stuff, click on that community tab and you can see it there. I posted it there. You can click on it, go there and check it out and check out the quality of the clip and stuff. But just little things I'll throw up there for you guys, something a little bit extra. Hey, somebody in the Gotham guy in the super chat, Colt, you want to read that? He's talking to you.
Colt, is it basic mathematics, but sometimes common sense is not common for people? And Salt, it's cool you got a PS4. I still have love for you.
I still like you, even
Thank
though
you.
Slowly.
Some people hate me, but it's okay.
No, it's actually super amazing. Like, Salty and I were talking like a month ago on Twitter, like, because he got a Switch and didn't, and I bought a PS4 and didn't buy a Switch. He bought a Switch and didn't buy a PS4. And now what Salty will do is, you got like a month of this summer drought left. You'll be able to play Spider-Man and God of War and have like such an awesome experience. And you can go back to that PlayStation once or twice a year for like a really awesome game that you can't get on the Xbox.
To HDMI 3. Salt, brother, thanks for joining us, man. What have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Super Mario Maker 2 lately, not gaming too much because I have a newborn, but I'm going to get Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Thank you, Iron Lords, for that. I won their giveaway. I was doing their show too, so it seemed rigged, but it wasn't, I swear. But they got to hit me up with that code, guys, if they're listening. But yeah, I'll be playing that, and then just PS4 games, playing. I don't know what I'm gonna play for. Spider-Man, maybe. I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah, I would.
You download Spider-Man? Because I had to re-download it like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and it took 7 hours to download.
Dude, yeah. So I got the digital code because it's part of, I don't know, their little bundle they did. I got a digital code for Spider-Man, and they're gonna send me Horizon Zero Dawn, which still hasn't got here. But I started downloading it like hours ago, and it was like slow as hell. And my download's like 150, and it's not an issue there. But
on 400 now.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, wow, dude. But I think I texted my wife because I'm excited. I was like, "Is it done?" Luckily, it is. So I'll probably be playing that first, man. Is it done?
Hey, man, and there's a reason I did a review on that bitch. You know, so
yeah. People asked me about my PSN ID. Honestly, I'm not gonna really have PS Plus, dude. Unless there's a good game that month or something. It's just I'm gonna be playing these single player games and not really multiplayer. So
you don't need PS Plus for party chat, which is really cool on the PlayStation platform.
Which is something Microsoft need to do, because I can boot up the Skype app on Xbox and talk for free, but if I don't have Gold, I can't use party chat. Yeah. Whereas on PlayStation, you can chat in a party without PS Plus. And I don't have Plus either, because I don't fuck with, I play their exclusives there, and I switch it right back to HDMI 1.
The thing is, they try to catch me up. They're like, "Hey, you want a trial of PS Plus? Put your information in." And I'm like, "Nope, next." I was like, "I'm not putting my information in."
Hey, who say something? Someone say something
about putting the information on there. Don't fucking do it.
No. Don't do that shit. Zucker got hacked and all over.
In your privacy settings, there's a 2-step verification. Take 10 minutes and do it.
Well, until they get 3-step, I ain't worried about it. Zucker, what have you been playing, brother? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Apex Season 2, trying to rank up, trying to get to Plat, almost there. I've been playing
Platypus.
Hell yeah, Platypus, bitch. Playing Plague's Tale Innocence. That game's actually really damn good. Very good. Asobo Studios. They are knocking that shit out the park. The story's really good. I'm enjoying that game. Probably going to play it tonight. And you guys can find me on Twitter at Zalker87, and then go to my YouTube channel, Zalker87. I just put out a video about Gears and all the stuff. I really enjoyed making that. So, thanks for having me on, Dealer. Everybody else, Salty. You guys, it was awesome talking to you guys tonight. And the chat, you guys were fucking killer.
Yeah, even though it's kind of a slow week, man, it's still great to see you in the chat.
Slow week, fast chat, though.
Yeah. Morbay in the super chat says, long time listener of you guys. I'm in the UK, 3 a.m. here, but worth it to stay up and listen to your show. Any new Xbox console information? Basically, the fact that, Microsoft and Sony are claiming 4 times the power, it's all in the air, but people need to remember that if you can use the same logic, it goes both ways. So either way, the next Xbox should be faster, right? Kind of all think of it that way. At least Colt and I do. We're kind of hearing, Tim does as well. We're kind of hearing that it's still going to be faster. And until there's like an official update, the last big information on that system was not my last. It's one of my last videos about a Phil Spencer interview. It's not too far gone, but yeah, man, thank you so much for tuning in. 3 a.m. there, and this guy is soldiering on. We do appreciate it, man. Fonzarelli, what have you been playing, and where can people find you, man?
I've been playing Detroit Become Human. Solid game. I really enjoy it. Over on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And you can find me at The Grounded Gamer right here on YouTube. And I'm making content every week on Cyberpunk 2077 right now, because that's the info that just keeps dropping, and so I'm just keeping up with that. I'll be keeping up with other big games as well, but right now my main focus is Cyberpunk, because again, that's the news that just keeps dropping like every other day. And besides that, you can find me on Twitter at jfonzarelli, and I want to thank the chat and Saltiest Gaming for coming through. It's been awesome. Salty, been boys for a while, and congratulations on that new baby.
Oh yeah, she's a button, man. I can't wait to hold her again. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you.
Damn, Shinsai says it's 4 a.m. there. Holy shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Tim Dog, what have you been playing, brother? And where can people find you, man? Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, always great to be here. And great to see Salty. Always good to hear from him. Been playing Tomb Raider. Started getting Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm gonna look to finish that game. I'm about like 30% in, but playing it again. I really enjoy that game. The way it looks and the way it plays. It's just a really good game. I'm also trying to get my Forza Cup I'm in I'm in the Forza Cup bracket right now, so trying to just finish up on that, and just waiting for Gears and these other big games to drop. As for where you can find me, you can always find me in the same place. You can find me here every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. And you can also find me on Twitter at xCloud Tim Dog.
Yeah.
Ron Hale says, I miss D Batches. I don't know. Yes, he will be back next week. DJ says, press circle to sit on toilet seat. Detroit become human. Is that true, Ron?
What's up?
Press circle to sit on toilet seat. Is that in the game?
DJ's fucking funny. He's always got these fucking gifts. Myself, I've been playing a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn, testing out this capture card. Like I said, there's a clip of that in the community tab if you remember. I've also been playing a little bit of what the hell's that indie game where you're that girl going around the boat and everyone's like, monster.
Sea of Solitude.
Sea of Solitude a little bit there. And just kind of been busy here lately, searching for things to make some content about. I didn't have another video this past week because it's like, there's just nothing to fucking really talk about, but I might have something for Thursday maybe. But as of right now, guys, I've just kind of been doing our thing, slogging through the dry season of gaming, just like the rest of you. We got Wolfenstein coming out this month, Control, Wreckfest stuff coming out next month, and then September is when things really kick off hard. We're really super psyched for Gears. If you didn't hear the earlier part of the episode, go back and check it out. Ton of great news for Gears of War 5. And as always, guys, hit that like button, share this. We share things. We're going to get out of here. Don't forget to check the links down below in the description. If you are a new patron this month, that list will update the first of every month. So that'll be in a couple of weeks. That list will update and all that stuff will go through. If you haven't considered joining the channel, click that button, check it out. Let me know what you think. I need some feedback on the emoji stuff. Seriously, if you're a member, comment after this renders. I'm going to go through these comments, and I need some ideas for some different emojis. We just kind of threw these together. So, again, guys, thank you guys for doing what you do. We are getting out of here.
Malaka.
Later, everybody.
No, Zucker, did I give you an outro?
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.